Well, we are joined by one of the Notre Dame greats. She is the reigning ACC Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. It's Hannah Hidalgo. How are you, Hannah? Thanks for joining us.
I'm well. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. Great to have you. We were just kind of talking before we got started. You're back on campus now. You get to spend some time away. Was it nice to kind of get away for a little bit after that, rookie season and basically getting in almost a year ago, I guess, at this
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. I mean, it's always good to, have a reset and, just to kind of go home and see my people when I'm not able to see them all year. So it was great.
Well, and again, like we were just chatting a little bit, you got to do something pretty unique. Kassan Prosper, one of your teammates, her brother plays for the Dallas Mavericks. He's obviously in the NBA Finals right now, but you got to go down and actually see him in action there in the Western Conference Finals, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was so fun. I mean, the atmosphere was just crazy. It looked like a sold out arena. It was so much fun.
So, as someone who's been playing at such a high level, competitive level for as long as you have, AAU and however, far long back it goes, when was the last time that you really, got a considerable, more than maybe a week or two amount of time to yourself?
I think it was maybe right before I came to college. I had a little bit of a break because I graduated early and I wasn't able to come on campus yet because stuff had to be, figured out and settled. So I think right before I came to campus.
I mean, are you someone who likes some downtime? Do you have to be doing something all the time? What's that usually look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I love my downtime. I really like. I love to relax. Especially with it being such a vigorous season, I love to be able to, relax and wind down. But I only need a couple days to wind down before I need to be doing something, whether it's some activity. Actually, I just picked up bowling when I was back at home, which I was
Really?
awful at. Which I'm still not great, but I'm okay. I'm not too bad, but it's fun to be able to go home and chill, and then be able to do activities with my family.
Bowling is one of those sports. It's like even if you're not good, like you throw a strike every now and then, you feel like you're something,
Yeah,
right?
right, exactly.
Well, you know, did you play other sports growing up? Like looking at your feet, you look like someone who could have been like a really great soccer player. Did you ever play soccer or
Yeah.
anything else growing up?
Yep, I played soccer growing up until my freshman year. I played my freshman year at school, and then I ran track when I was younger, a little younger, but I quit track because I did not like running that much. Running with no purpose. So I quit track, and then soccer I played until, my freshman year when then I started taking basketball, just focusing on that.
It's interesting. You were just mentioning the long season, and and obviously your freshman season. So I mean, the season goes almost 6 months,
Yeah.
basically. And I think that one thing that a lot of people started worrying about with you specifically is like you were getting, like you're getting to the basket, you're drawing those fouls, you're going to the floor and maybe, taking some hard falls. How did your body react through that? And did you need kind of some time to recover after the season was over after that?
I'm young, and I have a pretty athletic body, so I'm able to take those hits. Of course, as I get older, I'm not going to be able to always fall on the ground. So of course, I have to learn how to be able to stay on my feet. But right now and last season, I'm still young. I'm only 19, so it was easy to be able to take those hits and pop right back up. But again, it's good to get downtime and just allow my body to recover. But I feel like physically I was okay, but mentally you just have to have a reset.
That's funny you say that because that's exactly right. I mean, obviously, like I was never the athlete at the level of you, but played in high school and stuff and you don't feel it quite as much back then, but it does catch up with you over
Yeah, I
time, I
know.
guess. And you guys have a great training staff and stuff like that to help you through that as well.
Yep, absolutely. Our trainers take very good care of us. They're very active. They're very proactive with everything that we need to be doing. How to take care of our bodies.
When you were growing up, did you say like were you thinking like I want to play in the WNBA, I want to play in college? What was kind of motivating you, I guess, as you were coming up through the game?
Yeah, I feel like when I was younger, I was really just playing for fun. I didn't have any goals of I want to go to this college. I want to do this. It was really just for fun. As I got older, I was like, okay, like I want to go to college and be one of the greats in women's college basketball. And so it was a dream, and I feel like, of course, my parents and all my brothers played basketball, so it was inevitable that I, played and kind of make it pro. But that became more my mindset, like maybe my junior year of, I want to go pro, I want to play in the league and everything like that. I feel like before I was saying it and didn't really know what that meant, or didn't really care for it, but like now I'm like, yeah, I want to play professional.
Was it just that your game came along at kind of such a rapid rate and it became obvious that was going to be something for you? Is that kind of what maybe started motivating you there?
Yeah, probably. I was in the gym constantly, and I saw improvement, and I was like, I think this is something that, I want to do because I love the game of basketball, and, this is something that I don't want to have to work somewhere where I'm not happy. I love the game of basketball. I'm happy.
Right.
What I do, so I think I can make money off of it.
And your dad was part of that as well, right? Like kind of in the gym and stuff like that.
Yeah, my dad was always in the gym. Of course, both of my parents helped me with, reach my goals. My dad was always in the gym with me, kind of working me out.
I coached my son for a while, like through high school, and I think there's good and bad to that, right? It's like there's
Absolutely.
like you're riding those good and bad times together. It's like you like that time, but there's two sides to it, I think, right?
For sure, of course. I mean, there's always good and bad. I mean, a lot of times my dad was on me the hardest because,
Right.
he knows that I could accomplish, and he knows what I can do, and he wanted me to succeed. So he was always on me the hardest. But, the connection that I have with my dad, while we're playing the game it's great. And so, that's the kind of good of it of, I'm able to, I was able to play with a lot of freedom,
Yeah, I mentioned your ACC accolades, and of course you got All-American honors as well. But you're the ACC Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. There was a strong case, I think, for Player of the Year for you as well. And you're talking to some people, like when we went out to the ACC tournament, I talked to plenty of people who voted for you, for Player of the Year. Did it bug you at all that you didn't get that, considering you led the league in scoring, and of course you led the nation in steals as well?
Yeah. No, not at all. It didn't bother me at all. I feel like, I always tell myself that what God has for me is for me. And so if he closes one door, then that door wasn't for me to go through. So, I'm blessed, and I'm happy with, how God has blessed me throughout the season. So I don't want to be prideful and, be worried about, what God blessed everyone else with, because again, what God has for me is for me. So I try not to get too focused on, this accolade and that accolade, because then I feel like it changes my mindset of why I really play the game of basketball.
What's maybe the biggest thing that you learned in your first year in college?
I say my first year, I think we dealt with, a lot of adversity. And I feel like, just learning, and I'm still learning, how to overcome adversity. And we went through, a lot of injuries, a lot of people going down, not playing, not having a lot of numbers, and just, I feel like we just went through a lot. But, we as a team did a great job of kind of sticking together and being able to play together as a team and kind of trust each other.
Your steals are again one thing that really stands out, especially when you lead the nation. I was wondering if you can kind of take, people sort of inside your head a little bit. So you're out there on the court. What are maybe some of the things you're thinking, you're looking at as maybe you're getting ready to try to take the ball away from somebody?
Yeah, I feel like I try and read ahead what the offensive player is gonna do next. Whether if they rise up, I feel like I have my hand there ready for them to cross over or kind of put it behind their back. I know a lot of people like to put the ball behind their back, so I always have my hands ready to, kind of get that steal. But I try and play very aggressive and just make the ball handler very uncomfortable. Whether that's kind of jabbing and kind of retreating. I also have a coach that has a lot of trust in me, so I'm able to play aggressive and gamble every once in a while. So it's like could be a win, it could be high risk, high reward kind of thing. So my coach has a lot of trust in me, so I'm able to gamble and get a lot of steals. But it comes with some bad sometimes too.
Well, your assistant coaches obviously put together a scouting report for the team before every game, and you guys go through film and all that different kind of stuff. Is there anything like, do you sit there and kind of watch that to look for any little things that maybe you can take advantage of when you're watching a player you're going to be guarding a lot?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do a great job of breaking down each person's like weakness. So I really watch who I'm defending and see how well they can handle the ball. If they're comfortable handling the ball, do they like pressure, like things like that? Do they go right most of the time? Do they go left most of the time? And I think the coaches do a great job of kind of breaking that down. But as I'm watching, I really try and focus on if they're a great ball handler or not.
Why do you think you're able to have so many steals really without having that many fouls relative to the steals that you have?
Yeah, it's definitely something that I had to learn. And, I think God just blessed me with quick hands, of course, but it's something I had to learn because I was fouling out of a couple of games when I was in high school and just picking up early fouls and quick fouls. So I've been able to learn how to, not go for every steal in every single possession, but, play solid every couple possessions and just try and make the ball handler turn the ball over. It might not be a steal every time, but it might be, a turnover or a bad pass that leads to like a broken offense. So I just try and play aggressive so that, we can get a turnover or maybe a shot clock violation or something.
Take us back to when you were being recruited. You talked about having a coach that has a lot of confidence in you. What do you remember the most maybe about your first contact with Niele Ivey?
Yeah, I remember first coming to campus and she was just telling me, you got the keys. Like I don't recruit just to recruit. I don't recruit the next biggest thing. Like, I recruit, pieces of a puzzle and they're all gonna connect. I'm not just over recruiting on everyone and I think you're a great piece that connects. And so just listening to her kind of say those words and kind of give me reassurance, of course, and then watching Notre Dame play, I had a lot of confidence in, what Coach Ivey was doing and what she is doing now, and I still trust her, to this day. So just her telling me, she gave me so much confidence and she put so much trust in me before I even committed, and so that was big to me.
That's interesting because I think when you hear other people talk about her, like she is such a great communicator and just the way she, her relationships and stuff like that, or those kind of things that you're talking about, is it, whether it's the message or just the way she talked to you, is it distinctly different from the way maybe a lot of other coaches were talking to you during that process?
Absolutely. Coach Ivy, she never, degrades anyone. She's never in your face yelling at you and stuff. She's so encouraging, she's so positive, and it really helps me, especially the type of player that I am. I'm already in my head. I'm already, like on myself. So, it's good that, sometimes she'll get on me, but she's never in my face screaming, degrading me, anything like that. She might yell at me and tell me, I need to get right, but then she's encouraging me like most of the time, like, you got this, like you're good, during games, sometimes if I'm in my head, she'll come over to me, she'll put her arm around me, and she just gives me all the reassurance and, the confidence that I need to, if I'm not having a good offensive game, to do something better that might help the team.
Did you ever talk to Gino Auriemma during when you were being recruited?
No, I never talked to Coach
Really?
I was recruited. No.
That's crazy. Like you heard Caitlin Clark, like back during the season, said she never talked to him either. That's kind of crazy that
Yeah.
two of the two top players in the country never talked to Gino. Okay, all right, kind of log that, I guess. So again, you're being recruited, and you knew that Olivia Miles was at Notre Dame, and she was obviously earning All-American honors of her own here. So I'm curious how Liv's presence on the team sort of impacted your thinking, as you're making that decision to ultimately come to Notre Dame.
Yeah, Liv is a great guard, and I feel like you have to have great guards on your team if you want to win. And she's phenomenal. She has great IQ, and she's flashy. She can score. She can pass, and so my mindset really was playing alongside her, which is be scary because I feel like no other team kind of has the guard play that we have, not just with me and Liv, but everyone else. Sony, KK, Emma, like all the other guards, Kassan. We have so many guards that it's tough and it's dangerous for other teams because we can play so fast and we have so many different ball handlers. So just having Liv on the team, it was never a threat or anything. It's honestly a plus, and I looked at it as like a plus. Like we can do something great together.
Well, and I mean, when you're coming in, there was, before the injury, obviously, like the whole plan was you two were both supposed to be playing together last season, not just this season, but the plan was for it to be last season. Was that kind of exciting, like thinking about some of those opportunities when you're coming into college? And, like you said, it's not just Liv, but there's a lot of great players on the team as well, but you do play the same position.
Yeah, of course. It was the idea of playing together with her was exciting because again, I'm here to win, and that's really my whole mindset is to win. And obviously, when she went down, it was upsetting, and it really hurt us as a team because Liv, she brings so much to the team, and she's such a she draws a lot of attention on teams, and so she's really a threat for other teams. So when she went down, it really hurt us, but I think we did a great job of and I think my teammates did a great job of kind of reading me and kind of, being able to, play alongside of me and play with me because I'm a freshman guard. I've never played with them. I've never been in that position. And so me being able to come in and my teammates being able to respond to me really well was really big, especially playing with Liv for the years that she's been here. Just taking on a whole new point guard is big. And so I was proud of my teammates for being able to do that.
Did you feel any extra pressure because of all that stuff that you were saying? Because now it's like she's not there, and obviously things worked out pretty well, but at the same time, you were a completely unproven guard in game one, going over to Paris to play South Carolina. Like, were you feeling any extra pressure going into that without her?
I say before the season, yes, but um, just of course, just the pressure of being a freshman and taking on a Power Five team, and kind of bringing them on my shoulders, and my coach telling me like, your teammates are looking up to you, they're following you, like you have the keys, like stuff like that. And I'm like, man, this is a lot as a freshman. But I say just throughout the summer, my teammates, especially, they gave me so much reassurance that, they were telling me, like shoot the ball when I was just being very passive. And it just gave me a lot of confidence, like, hey, they want me to take this team. They want me to, shoot more, just be more of a threat. And so that was big. And of course, Coach Ivey, my coach is just constantly putting that trust in me. It really helped me to be able to go out and, in Paris and, be able to play the way I did this season.
I mean, not many freshmen get to play their first career game in Paris.
Yeah.
I mean, that had to be pretty cool just by itself.
Absolutely.
So we've seen some of that video of you and Liv at practice, kind of some of the 2-person game and stuff like that. Has that been pretty fun? Just to kind of work even. I know she was practicing as the season was going on, but now that she's closer to 100% and really looking forward to next year, has it been pretty cool to kind of get out there together more?
Absolutely. Just being on the court with her, it's so different, kind of seeing, how she reads the game and kind of how she sees the game and how she's able to handle the ball and pass the ball. Just playing alongside of that, it's fun. It's fun to see it even now, and I can't wait to, just do up and runs and, kind of get up and down, especially for the season.
I mean, do you think that potential, you already scored a lot last year. Like I said, you led the ACC in scoring. Do you think it opens up even more potentially for you as a scorer next season?
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Because Liv is a pass first guard, and of course she can score, but she's looking to give her teammates a ball. Of course, she's a great point guard. So, and again, she draws so much attention, so people are going to be double teaming her, and her ability to pass is phenomenal. So it definitely opens up the floor for Sony to score, me to score, Maddie to score, everyone to score. It definitely opens it up for everyone.
I think it's going to be, I mean, I think it's 6 players with adding Leah Tu King and Liza Carlin. You've got 6 players on the team who have been first team all conference at some point in your careers, obviously, including both you and Liv and Maddie and Sony, and then in those two as well. Was it pretty exciting to hear that those 2 players decided to use their transfers and come to Notre Dame to join you guys?
Absolutely. Of course, we watched both girls play. We watched Liza and we watched Leah two play, and of course, we played against Leah two, and she was having 30 on us and shooting the ball on the floor. So those pickups were so big for us, and of course, we were so excited. Um, Not just because of their basketball skill, but also um, them as just people off the court. I think they fit really well into kind of us as a team, and I think they're going to do great.
What would make next season a successful season?
Championship. Just going. We've from what I've seen, we only made it to the Sweet 16. The kind of like the past 2 years, and so I think with the firepower that we have, we're gonna make it very far and prayerfully win a championship. But we have the skills, we have the girls to do so.
I mean, it feels like that's the next step. Again, when you line up all these players and everybody that you've got on this roster, that it feels like that's legit expectation, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Hannah Hidalgo, you got to get going. I know you've got some practice here this afternoon, so we'll let you get back to work with the team. Hope you have a great rest of your summer, and thanks for doing this today. Appreciate it. Thanks, Hannah.
Thanks for having me.